Function modules are an essential part of SAP ABAP programming. They are reusable blocks of code that perform specific tasks, making it easier for developers to create complex applications. Function modules can be called from any program, which makes them highly versatile and widely used in SAP applications. In this article, we will discuss function modules in SAP ABAP in detail, including what they are, how they work, and how to create and use them. What are function modules in SAP ABAP? Function modules are self-contained blocks of code that perform specific tasks. They are reusable, which means that once they are created, they can be used in any program or application. Function modules are similar to subroutines in other programming languages, but they have some unique features that make them ideal for SAP applications. Function modules can be called from other programs, and they can also be called by other function modules. This makes them highly versatile and allows developers to build complex applications using simple, reusable components. How do function modules work in SAP ABAP? Function modules work by accepting input parameters, performing a specific task, and then returning output parameters. Input parameters are passed to the function module when it is called, and they are used to control the behavior of the function module. Output parameters are returned by the function module when it completes its task, and they provide information about the results of the task. Function modules can also have exceptions, which are raised when an error occurs during the execution of the function module. Exceptions allow developers to handle errors in a structured way and provide meaningful error messages to users. How to create and use function modules in SAP ABAP? To create a function module in SAP ABAP, follow these steps. Open the ABAP workbench and create a new function group. Create a new function module in the function group. Define the input and output parameters for the function module. Write the code for the function module. Activate the function module. To use a function module in SAP ABAP, follow these steps. Determine the name of the function module you want to use. Call the function module from your program, passing in the necessary input parameters. Process the output parameters returned by the function module. Handle any exceptions raised by the function module. Conclusion. Function modules are an essential part of SAP ABAP programming. They allow developers to create reusable blocks of code that can be used in any program or application. Function modules are highly versatile and can be called from other programs, making them ideal for building complex applications. With the ability to define input and output parameters, as well as handle exceptions, function modules provide a powerful tool for building robust and error-resistant SAP applications.
Uh, okay, hello friends. So now we will be going to the practicals. I'll show you how to create a function module. So prior to create a function module, we have to create a function group. So for creating a function group, the T code is SEAP. Okay. So if I enter here, this is the command. Okay, this is the command from where we use the T code, and press and enter. Then following things will get open. You'll have to select the function group and then provide a group name. Suppose the group name that we will be selecting is ZCalFG. Okay, and click here. Click on the yes button. Thereafter, write some description of function here for some calculation. So we are creating a function group because whatever function module that gets created, it is stored in a function group. You can consider a function group as a container of all the function modules. Okay, and click on the save button. It would ask for the tr, and as of now I'm saving it to a local object. Okay, see, once the function group gets created, two includes gets created. One is a top include, another is a exception include. So basically, you will not be doing anything over here. This is already generated by SAP, and it is already mentioned that this file is generated by the function library and never change it manually. Okay, and but we do some changes over here. That is a top include. It has a significance. Okay, like whatever global data that we declare in our program, like for in the function module, instead of declaring all those data into the function module, we can put those data over here so that we can use this data in multiple function modules if they are present in this function group. This is the main advantage of it. Okay, now since our function group is created and our function, see, now another thing here to be noted that our top include is inactive. Okay, so it is our responsibility to get this activated by clicking on this button. It is giving some kind of a error, so let me right click on the function group and activate it. Yeah, it gets activated. Okay, still it is inact, yeah, it is activated. See, okay, now we will move on to the function module now. So the T code for creating a function module is SE37. Okay, slash n SE37 will give the function module name and we'll click on the create button. Okay, the moment we give the function module name, it would ask for me the function group. So see, if you have noticed over here, I am following here a naming convention like zcal. Okay, this for calculation underscore fm is a function module. Similarly, we'll give it fg for function group. Yeah, see, this gets automatically populated over here in the search help. Okay, so we can write a short description, calculation for fm. Okay, click on the save button. Now a new screen will get populated. Function module name is reserved for SAP. Yes, you have to click on the yes. Now this screen will get populated. Okay. So here you'll see couple of tabs like attributes. Let me cover one by one. Okay, so that it is easy for you to understand and able to create your own function module quickly. So the first tab is a regular function module. There are basically three types of function module: regular, remote, and update. Okay. So first we will be covering this regular function module. Thereafter we will be moving on to the two tabs, that is remote enable function modules and update function modules. So your remote enable function module is like the default option. Okay, the this function module is executed immediately and is synchronized with the SAP system. Okay, and in case of a remote enabled function module, it gets called by other SAP to non-SAP system by utilizing the RFC protocols. For example, suppose you define a remote function module in EWM system, which gets called by your ERP system to get further information about the stock levels or shipment details. Okay, so likewise, and update function module is not executed immediately. They are scheduled for an execution of an update work process, and this update process is triggered by the statement commit work. Okay, the statement rollback works deletes all the update function modules registered. So we'll first cover the remote enable function modules. We have import parameters, so we can write I underscore param 1, I underscore param 2, give a type. This is the type of data. Okay, suppose we are giving here only char integer. Suppose we declare as an inf. in 4. Okay, integer type of data. And we can provide a short text over here. There is an option for pass by value or say pass by reference. Okay, so this is pass by value. If you are using a remote enable function module, you have to click this. For remote enable function module, it is mandatory, you have to choose pass by value. Okay, but for normal function module, it is you may make this untick. Okay, the significance of this optional is if you click on this, so it specifies that you may pass param 1 and param 2 into this function module. But if you are not passing this, so by default, param 1 and param 2 are the mandatory parameters. You have to pass them. Okay. Otherwise, function module will not allow to get into the source code when you execute it simply. Okay. So let us mark as mandatory as of now. Okay. So default value is, suppose you can also pass a default value to the parameters. Suppose I give here 5, I give here 2. By default, if you're not entering anything, by default this value will get inserted in the sense like they would be taking as input from the function module. We can give an export as well, e underscore export, e underscore param, suppose type int4, click on enter. Okay, the moment I click enter, all those sort description gets populated automatically based upon the data type. Okay, so there is a changing parameters can be used both as like import and export. Okay, like input parameters at the end of the process, values are changed and they become output parameters for the function module. Okay, and import parameters, like they are only used for sending something or importing something into the function module, and they are sent or access into the main program. And export parameters output of the function module. These parameters are sent from the main program empty, and they are sent back to the main program with some output value. Okay, and there are some export parameters as well. Okay, if you can see, there are some exception, I mean to say exception parameters. They are used to raise some kind of exception which we wanted to handle in our code. And the next step, source code, which is the main part of this function module, where we write our custom programs to handle everything. Okay, so let's write something over here. uh, I am giving you a simplest program which you can develop quickly and give you a basic understanding of function module. Okay, so import I underscore import param 1, I underscore import parameters 2. So let us give another case, I underscore cond condition, suppose. So I'll be handling some kind of a case over here, suppose, and it is a mandatory. I'm making as mandatory, so I will not be taking over anything. If I const is equals to a, suppose a stands for suppose addition. Else M for multiplication, or else if division, suppose. Okay, and if. So we can give the respective things over here. Suppose very simply, you can simply do this and this, I param 1 and I param 2, and give a multiplication and give a division over here, and just simply activate it. Thereafter, once it is done, You can also suppose what I'm thinking. Thinking to handle some kind of exception as well in uh, portion of division. Okay, or suppose if I'm not passing anything over here. Okay, suppose else I can raise some exception. Suppose OPERA operation not specified. Yes, but it would give me error. Okay, I have to declare this exception in my exception tab basically. Where is my exception tab? It is over here. Okay, so I'll have to this like exception. If no operation is different, then this exception will get erased automatically. So likewise, you can handle this exception over here also, as I was telling. If the denominator is suppose 0, suppose. Okay, and if you can check it prior to that also, then raise exception. Cannot divide by 0. And you can just activate it. Okay, okay, we are good to go then. Let's execute it. See, by default, 5 and 2 is coming on the screen, and a condition. Suppose if I click A, it would give me 7. If we give M, it would give us 10. Okay, and we can change it also. If we divide it, it would give, sorry, not divide B, yeah, it would give us 5. But suppose I'm making it 0, it would give me an exception. See, cannot divide by 0. Okay, and another exception that we have raised is suppose blank, then also it would give me some error. I'm not passing any condition over there. Okay, operation not specified. So can you tell me one thing, why this pop-up is coming over here? It because it is a mandatory parameters, it contains no value. If you are not making is mandatory, suppose if I go to the import parameters, if I'm clicking over here, this is not mandatory. If you are clicking on the optional tab, it makes it not mandatory. So now you executed, if you are not passing anything in I condition which is not mandatory, the pop-up will not come, but the exception will come because we have handled it. See, the exception is coming, operation not specified. Okay, this is how like a function module gets created. Okay, this is the example of a normal function module. Another important thing which I would like to show you over here is click on this hierarchy option. Okay, like display object list. Okay, there you can find, see, this is the function group and this is the function module that you created. So as I have in the beginning of the session, I have already tell you that a function group gets created, and within the function group n number of function module can be present. So this function module is over there, and I have already so told you that there is a top include where we can global data. Likewise, suppose if I'm declaring some kind of a data over there, suppose L underscore operation type I. Okay, simple. This is globally I'm declaring in this include, so I can easily access this data over here. Okay, suppose I operation equal to 2, let's say. See, it is not giving me an error. If I'm double clicking on it, it would directly navigate me to the include, top include. Okay, so it would not give me any kind of error simply. Or what we can do, suppose I am hard coding it, in case no operation is specified, then we can directly pass e parameter as true, which is hard coded over here. Let's see what happens. And definitely we will not be use exception over here since we are passing something. है ना? See, it would give you two by default. Okay, this is just for a demo sake, so that you can able to create your first function module and you do not feel any kind of a issue. If you feel any kind of issues or problem, just make sure to comment. I'll immediately try to resolve that. Okay, and we'll get back to you. Okay, fine. This is it then. We have created our import parameters, export parameters, tables. There is a tables parameter as well. Suppose there are scenarios, like when we want to send multiple data to the function modules. Okay, or suppose we want to get some multiple data from the function module as a output, then we can use the table parameters. It can be used both as import and export parameters as well. Okay, so for that we have to take the associative type as a table type. Okay, it should be a kind of a table type, and exception we have did and the source code. Okay, hope you have understand whatever I have tried to convey it. Okay, thank you.